Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Star Spinner Tarot by Trungles, which is at the bottom of the purple piece. Trungles. There is a website for them, chroniclebooks.com. Where is it? There it is. So if you want to go check out that website, I haven't yet, but I'm kind of excited to try. See if I remember. Go right on my brain before I'm done with the day. Supportive Oracle Cards, Energy Oracle Cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. I haven't seen a website on this box, but if you search her, I think it's a fairly new deck. I keep confusing myself. Maybe I've had that for a few years, the more I think of it. But anyway, if you like it, search it out. There you go. This is Taurus. Taurus. I'm getting a very, I want to say the word jovial energy. Jovial. You gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so the energy coming in, starting this off. I think you're gonna know where this is going. Like, this reminds me of something where, this was a long time ago for me. I don't know why I'm saying this, but like I used to have a friend, and just every now and then I just knew that the friendship was going to go, just kind of like fizzle out at some point. Even though at the time they were a pretty good friend and we hung out fairly regularly, I would always have this inkling like, it's only going to last a couple more years and then they're just going to slowly just fade away. Just kind of like, just fade away and that'll be it. And you just won't see them anymore. And I always had that knowing about that. And I feel like this kind of situations, like there's somebody you're dealing with, somebody you're working with, and outwardly you don't see any signs of that. There's nobody else would see this, nobody else would say that, but you have this inner knowing, like, this is going to kind of fade away at some point. And I see where we're going, so not for nothing. But I'm getting, for the people this is going to hit with, it's kind of like I always knew that this was not going to last forever. I just always had that inkling that this was not going to be permanent, no matter how much I wanted to tell myself it was, no matter how much I wanted to try to secure it. Part of, like, in the back of your brain, you just always knew, like, this was not going to be a permanent situation. And I'm getting, like, something happens, an unexpected moment happens, and the landscape kind of shifts. Adjacent abilities with possibilities, with the tower and the environment. Whoever this person is, they make a choice that's starting to veer them away from you. I don't think this happens in 2 seconds. I really don't, even though we have the death card coming up. I'm getting, when they make a choice, whatever this choice is, it's the beginning of the end. And it's kind of like adjacent possibilities, the tower card. It's not something I feel like they were planning. They just kind of made this choice, but it's kind of like it was kind of coming at some point. And the death card is here with you next to the strength card. These two cards coming in is kind of like, when it happens, again, that inkling, that inner knowing, I'm getting that, especially the 6th chakra with the Queen of Cups, and then this coming in right after, you know it. I don't feel like you want to believe it, but you know it. You know this is the beginning of the end. And I feel like for some of you, you might have fought it and tried to fix it, but at the same time, it was kind of playing in the back of your mind, like, I always knew this was going to happen at some point, and I think this is the beginning of the end. Because even though you're trying, because I feel like you are putting some effort into like not letting this just slip away, like you're not just going, oh, it's over. You're kind of like trying to work with this. It's very limited. It's very limited, but I feel like you do repair it. That's weird. But that's literally the beginning of the end. You always knew it was coming. This moment, this adjacent possibility comes into the environment. It's something that shocks you when they do it. You know it's the beginning of the end. You might be fighting against it. there's not much you can do, but it does reconstitute. You get along with this person. You got the Three of Cups with the Lover's card. This is a deck that has multiple Lover's cards. There's at least 3, if not more. So, and you got 2 of them. I'll just let you know that. So you're fixing it with this person, but I'm getting this friendship energy. For some of you, like if this is a romantic partner we're dealing with, it's going from like a romantic connection to a friendship connection. Like that's a downgrade, in my opinion. If it's a work situation, you're making it work out. You're passing the test. Things are patched up well enough, but at the same time, it's kind of like, all right, I know where this is going. Kind of like you know where this is going. You know this situation isn't going to be permanent. Even though you have the Three of Cups, you're making peace with it. Is what I'm getting. Kind of like, all right, this was a left turn. I kind of always knew that was going to happen. And I can't be surprised the next time. Like, this is going to happen again, and you know that. But you're accepting it. That Three of Cups is kind of like you're at peace with them. Because you're like, yeah, I kind of knew that was always going to happen, and I know this isn't going to be the last time this happens. You're honest with yourself. They've got the Ace of Cups. They're glad that they're back on good terms with you. But they got that thinking woman energy going on around them. And the gender doesn't matter, but it's kind of like they're not satisfied, and they're going to keep looking. They're going to make more decisions like this, and you know it. You know it. They are currently still looking around for whatever they're looking around for. So this might be the beginning of the downfall, but you're not fooling yourself about it at all. You are thinking about it a lot, though. And you got the woman holding a heart on your side, kind of like, I do care. I don't really want this to go away, but I got to accept it for what it is. And it's kind of like, I can only... Like you only have so much control, right? It's kind of like when you send your kids off to school. You can do what you can when they're home to make them do their homework and study and do everything you can. But once they get to school, they have to go to the class. They have to take the test, and they have to pay attention and do what they're supposed to do in that class. You know, and instead of taking the test and taking it seriously, if they're screwing around talking to their buddies, you know, arriving late, doing things and not paying attention to what they're answering and answering things wrong, even though they might know it, but just not putting the care into a situation, that's out of your hands. And I feel like that's basically how you're looking at this. Like, there's some of this is just out of my hands. I can't make everything work out the way I want it to. I can't make it rain tomorrow. We're just gonna say. I can't force it to do what I want. I can't go into the middle of the desert and force it to rain. I can't do that. I can truck in some water. I can try to make it work that way, but I can't like get the clouds to roll in. I can't get that to happen. You know what I mean? So you're accepting that. The Angel of Balance is coming in with the Five of Swords. It's going to happen again. The first time this happened, I feel like it reconstituted. But I feel like they're not happy. Whoever this person is, they don't like what they have, and they're going to go. They're thinking they're wasting their time with whatever they're doing, and the Angel of Balance is coming in with the Five of Swords, which is also depicted as an angel. Kind of like this isn't working for them. You know, you see it coming, though. I feel like at this point you're watching closer, maybe than you were before, and you're seeing the signs come in with the Six of Cups. This is the 6, right? Yep. 6 of Cups. There's fish on here. I guess the fish are supposed to talk about the chalices, but what I'm getting here is like it's bothering you. It's not something you're really liking, but you know it's coming, and you're in this mode of like, you know what, I just gotta be ready for it, because you're preparing for it is what I'm getting. Is it something you're liking? I don't think so. You care about it, and I'm getting this cup energy in more the sense of like you're invested in it, but you're kind of like, I have to accept it so it doesn't drive me completely mad. And this person, they're gone. They go. They make their change. Ironically, you have the cornucopia, which the thing is with the cornucopia, even though it's a success card, It's a moment that passes. You know, if you have all this on a table, if you walk away for a month and come back to the same table, it's going to be all rotted. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's got a timeline. It's got a expiration date, if you will. And I feel like it's one of those things kind of like, you know what, I knew it was coming. So I'm just going to move forward, and I knew it was coming. It's weird that you have the cornucopia. Because I think that you've already accepted it, and you're ready to move on. I really think you were already like thinking like, well, when this ends, this is what I'm going to do. I think you were making plans. I think something like that. You saw the signs coming. You knew before it was the beginning of the end. You made peace with it. It was a while. It took from the beginning of the end to now, when this actually happens. There's a significant amount of time, and you've been making peace with it the whole time. And I think that's why when this ending happens, because I don't think of Taurus as really liking change usually, but when you have enough time to think about it, sit on it, think about it, plan for it, decide what you're going to do with it, and build a structure from it, you're ready for it. Like, it's going to happen anyway. It's kind of like, I know I'm going to have to move next year, but it's next year, and I'm going to have to. For whatever reason, you're going to have to. It's kind of like that. I know I'm going to have to. So you have a whole year to plan for it, and you just think about it and work with it and move things around and start deciding, well, if I'm going to leave, where can I afford to go versus where do I want to go? What do I need to do to make that work out right? You have enough time to put it together, and it works. You see, you're not knocked down with this. The person that walks away, like they're gone, the walk away person, I don't think you're on good terms with them. But I think it's more about them than you. In the sense of like, they don't want to get along with you. So it's kind of like, the Three of Swords is kind of like, you're looking at it like it doesn't have to end this way. I knew it was gonna end. I just didn't think it had to end that way. But they don't seem to want to deal with you. For whatever reason. I feel them shutting you out. I do feel like they're shutting you out. They got the Five of Pentacles. Yep. But I'm noticing the mirror. The mirror is cracked and broken. It's kind of like they don't want to look at the mirror because it's broke. And they don't want to like... I feel like most of them don't want to own up to what they did to break the mirror. Like they broke the mirror and they just don't want to look at it. And I feel like there's kind of like a sadness with that. Like they don't want to own up to what they did. And they don't want to really like talk about it. I don't think you're upset. I think you accepted it. Kind of like, you know what, it was going to move on. It had to move on. And I feel like you're also in that mind space, kind of like, you know what? I always knew it was coming, but I think it's better. I think lesson learned. I feel like you're accepting of it. Kind of like it's moving on, and it's time for it to move on, and you're accepting it. You got the Lover's card with the Patience. I feel like you've accepted it. You literally accepted it, and you're moving towards other things. This is nothing for you to feel bad about. I do see the other person and it doesn't have to be romantic. I know there's an obvious romantic feel to this. Could be business, could be friendship, whatever it is for you. But I feel like you're moving on. To them, they think you're moving on pretty fast, and they're kind of bothered by that. There's no reason for you to be upset about it. If they feel that way, well, sorry. I mean, I know that sounds rude, but the truth is, it's like, you accepted it when it started falling apart. You knew it always was going to have a shelf life, even if you tried to fight against it. And when it started falling apart and you fixed it, you saw the signs of them walking away. And you're like, why should you feel bad about accepting it and moving on? Like, why should you feel bad about that? They made the decision to go. You shouldn't feel bad about that. Why should you feel bad about that? And I feel like that's why they don't want to deal with you. Between you and this person, there is some discord at the end. The Four of Cups is telling me there's just a lack of connection. There's just a lack of connection. You can't really get along all that well is what I'm getting. But I feel like there's more avoidance than arguing. I just feel like there's more avoidance. This other energy is peculiar to me because I don't feel like... Because I'm definitely connecting to the Taurus energy. Like, I don't understand why they would be upset. Like, they chose to leave. I'm getting that. Like, why are they bothered by you when they made the decision to do what happened? They're the reason things changed. So why are they upset with you? It makes no sense. Like, on your side, it's like, I don't understand why they'd be upset with me. They chose to go. But I feel like it's the way it played out, and I think there's some guilt there. There might be some guilt there. And there's some things that you're not really happy or pleased with the way they did things. But you accepted it, and you're like, I moved on. I don't see you even holding a grudge about this. It's kind of like, why? Why hold a grudge on it? I just feel your energy kind of like, literally, you've been accepting it for a while. You've been working through it. I feel like you're letting it go. But I do think the end of this is saying, you're going to be great. You're going to be fine. You got a lot of good things coming in for you. The other person's not going to be happy, but I just wouldn't think about it too much, because what are you going to do with it? I just don't see you doing anything. I don't think that's for you to solve. I think that's for them to solve. They need to solve it themselves. Because I feel like every now and then you're kind of like, why are they upset with me? Like, they made the choices. Why are they upset with me? I just keep feeling that energy. Like, I don't understand. Like, I didn't do anything to them, but they seem to be upset with me. Like, I don't get it. I think it's guilt. I think it's guilt kind of warping around in their own head. That's what I think is going on. All right. You're doing well. I mean, this ends really well for you. Don't own any of that guilt. I think, because I'm like, why are we keep going on about this? Don't own any of that guilt. Because I almost feel like things get twisted a little bit. And somehow it gets thrown back at you, like, well, you moved on pretty quick, didn't you, Taurus? Like, you found a replacement for that really fast, didn't you? You don't owe anybody any explanation. You didn't do anything wrong. I keep getting that. Like, it's not like you did anything wrong. If other people are bent out of shape about it, you can try to explain it if you want to. I don't see it going to your benefit, just to be fair. I would just walk away from that too. Just kind of like, it is what it is, and I accepted it, and just let it go at that. I don't know. You shouldn't feel bad about anything. I don't see anywhere around here like why you should feel bad about anything. And I think for a lot of the people connecting to this, maybe there's a little twinge of like feeling bad about it, but not understanding why. There's no reason to. You might be empathizing with this other energy, and I think maybe they feel bad about it because of the way it played out. Maybe. Or maybe there's other external people connected to the situation, and they're really disappointed that the situation played out the way it did. And because you seem to be the more stable leader energy, they were kind of depending on you to keep the stability in the situation. But, you can't live people's lives for them. Other people make decisions, and that's where things go. I think that's part of it, too. There's other people that weren't directly connected to the situation, between you and whoever this is, but they were looking at you like you were the one that was going to keep it together. Like, they had all the responsibility on you to make sure this worked out. And the fact they're almost like blaming you for accepting it. But it's kind of like, I had to accept it. It was going to happen. It was going to happen. Like, I can't lock somebody up and make them live life the way I tell them to live life. That's not right. That's not going to happen. That's also illegal. So don't even think of that. Not that you would. But there's unfair energy. I think that's what this is really coming around to, too. It's the external people who maybe are putting too much pressure on you and almost blaming you for this situation falling apart. But there's nothing for you to own with that. So don't own that either. I feel like there's nothing to even talk about. Let's just kind of let it be. I would just let it be, because that's warped in itself. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you would like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.